Hello and welcome to the Metropolitan Elites. We've had a letter, finally. I'm just going to read it out.
Dear Sir, now we watch the gradual erosion of Western homogeneity and culture and the end of sovereign European nation-state democracies. And there you are, a pair of useful idiots bleating about the EU-approved we're not racist virtue signaling platitudes in lieu of an informed rational position. Representative of current state of the British middle class, and it's desperately sad. Whether to leave or remain, not even be a discussion among two adults who claim to be liberals. Yours sincerely, Walter Pinketti, 17.
Right, that's lovely. Yes, thank you very much. It's good to know we've got some supporters out there.
Yeah, we love communication from the outside world.
Yeah, more of that please, more comments.
Yeah. I'm going to actually put the Twitter thing down there because I'd like some people to tweet us some abuse, if possible.
Yes, please. Yeah. Gives us something to talk about, doesn't it? Yeah. So yeah. You got a moment of the week?
I have got a moment of the week. Have you got a moment of the week?
Yeah, I've got a moment of the week.
Okay. So I'm going to do a Huffington Post moment of the week, which is comment on comment, basically. But my moment of the week, because it's actually been quite a slow week news-wise, I think, which is strange, mid-referendum bullcrap, but quite a slow week. But my moment of the week was Michael Portillo's moment of the week on This Week last night.
Aha.
Have you seen it?
No.
Undoubtedly, the Queen's speech was the moment of the week. In 2015, a majority Conservative government was elected for the first time since 1992. 23 years we had waited with bated breath for the election of this Conservative government. And now it comes forward with its Queen's speech after 23 years of careful thought about what they would like to do with office and power. And the answer is nothing. There is nothing they want to do with office or power. The government is in total paralysis because the only thing that matters to the government now is the saving of the Prime Minister's career. And the saving of the Prime Minister's career is dependent only on one thing, which is winning the referendum for the Remain campaign. And that majority that he has secured last year, it's all for nothing. The government has nothing to do, nothing to say, and thinks nothing.
Very well.
It is the government of nothing.
I think he summed it up perfectly, really.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it much better myself. So that was my moment of the week.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, well, we should add to that. Obviously that this week this was the week that Cameron saw Boris's Hitler and raised him ISIS. What a shower! What a shower of. But anyway, my moment of the week was a Muslim woman. I was disgusted. Okay, I was disgusted. But a Muslim woman stood in defiance in front of people protesting against building a mosque. May not have been building a mosque, it might have been a library, but then obviously these people, they can't tell the difference. Or it might have been a picture of something in Istanbul or something, and they thought that was here. But yeah, I was disgusted. The way she pouted, I just really, really hate that pouting. Horrible.
Yeah.
That's my moment of the week. I may have missed the main thrust of what was happening there, but that's what was important to me.
Yeah, I don't believe. We've done our Reddit poll this week. We've decided to go for Reddit again. Mm-hmm. And basically the question is, ISIS or Hitler, which is the best for winning an argument? And David Cameron said ISIS is good in for Brexit, Boris said Hitler, and the European Union were trying to do the same thing. Which one is the most convincing? And the options are the arch-zionist Hitler or so-called ISIS. So far, we've got 0 votes on both of them.
Right. Okay. Let's see how that goes through the episode.
Yeah. So what's happened this week, Kev?
Yeah. Well, it's been a big week, really, from the fallout of the BBC charter renewal stuff. First, they came for the teachers, and I did not speak out. They came for the doctors, and I said nothing. They came for the children, and I said nothing. And then they went for the recipes on the BBC website, and I was disgusted. Oh my God, why is this news? But that's the main thrust of what's happening to the BBC. Why is that headline? It's almost headline news. I quite like the BBC recipes, but I'm not that worried. They have TV shows of cookery. It's fine. It's all on demand.
I mean, it does kind of show that where the political headwinds really are in this country now.
It's a comedy thing, it's a satirical thing to say that it's a class thing. But it kind of is. In that we just don't care. Why is that a big deal? Although people are joking about it, it almost is important to posh people.
I mean, there was a petition up before you know it, and by the end of the day, the BBC were sort of backpedaling as quickly as they could.
They've saved their 20 pence it cost to host few text files.
Some recipes. Yeah, that was kind of ridiculous.
But maybe that's a media thing of it's, well, how do we spin the BBC thing? Because it was a sort of
but the BBC made a big deal of it because I remember waking up in the morning watching the news and they were reporting on it themselves as if it was big news, and that just undermined themselves basically. I almost wonder if the BBC really didn't want to get rid of these recipes and thought, okay, we'll make it #1 news story and all the middle class people watching on their sofas get all upset and start an online petition, then we'll have to back down.
Because they don't have cookery books. There was a John Whittingdale, in all seriousness, there was a John Whittingdale quote doing the rounds, as they do, about, he was asked, I think this was like 1992 or something ridiculous, I don't know how long ago it was, who do you admire the most? And he said, Rupert Murdoch and Kelvin Mackenzie. It couldn't be more obvious because his best friends are Satan and murder. And he's going to decide what happens to human beings.
I wonder, this sort of lull we've had this week. Do you know where I think the vacuums come from? The Labour Party have basically shut up. The BBC had nothing to say basically.
Yeah.
We've got tit for tat. Basically, we've had Boris and David Cameron,
talking nonsense.
having a bit of a spat, basically.
Talking crap.
It's left the BBC bereft of talking points. I mean,
is this a sort of baffled Corbyn thing in that he's done all right. He didn't do fantastically. We were joking, but he's done all right, and there's nothing to report. So what do they say? Oh, it's a disaster for the Labour Party. Did okay in the election, but it's disaster for the Labour Party.
Here's the thing: on Wednesday, Daily Politics. What was it Wednesday? Andy Burnham, anyway. He changed his Twitter name to Andy for Mayor of Manchester or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And they got Andy Burnham on. Oh, are you leaving this? Are you doing this because the Labour? Because Jeremy Corbyn's so pathetic. It was just that question after question after question.
But
Like
he's just so pathetic.
Yeah.
He did okay in the election, but he's awful, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he did okay in the election, but he's not popular.
You don't believe you're going to win in 2020, do you? So you're going to jump ship and become mayor? No, actually, that's not the case. But yeah, but I mean,
Like
you
Boris.
really do think Jeremy Corbyn's pathetic, don't you? No, not really.
But he is, though, isn't he? No.
So the Daily Politics and the rest of BBC News had not to say. It wasn't Wednesday, actually. It couldn't have been because I don't think Daily Politics was on Wednesday. It was the Queen's speech. I think it might have been Thursday then. But yeah, I mean, there's been a bit of a vacuum. The BBC chart renewal thing's kind of done, so they're not so, on edge. I'll know.
Yeah, and again, there's no news. It's just a thing. It's like the elections. There's just nothing.
Yeah.
It's a nothing. It's a renewal,
Yeah.
and the recipes might be taken down, although they've changed their minds.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts on the EU referendum deal?
Well, in Naples, they made a 6,079 foot pizza. That's pretty cool. That's all I've got. I'm sorry. Nothing's happened, has it?
It has. It's been a really slow week.
It's a sudden change. It must be something to do with the referendum because we're getting near. It's like a lull before the.
Well,
ludicrous.
I almost wonder if there's a sort of a change in strategy coming on because it's become patently obvious. Yeah, I mean the polls don't really know what's going on. 1 minute you get a 15. I think Remain had a 15-point lead or something like that, or a 10-point lead.
Yeah.
For a telephone poll, and then an online poll was conducted, and Brexit had a 3-point lead. So there's really no indication sort of what's going on. Apparently, Remain are fairly confident that they've won the economic argument, and that's it settled because that's what won the general election.
It's the economy, stupid. Because it isn't what won the general election, is it? It's Scotland. The evil Scots are coming.
Yeah, which kind of helped. But I mean, here's the situation. I mean, my sense is that Remain are going to win the election, but they're not going to bury it. Yeah, so there's a few things come out this week. Farage says, we could start the drum if it's close. We could start the drumbeat for another referendum.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's going to be close, isn't it?
Well, it's going to be close because basically the economic. They've addressed one half of the argument. Yeah, the economics of it is an important thing. My judgment is that sort of the economics equates to, well, it'll be more convenient if we stay.
Yeah.
It doesn't
The easy
address.
option.
Yeah, it doesn't address should we stay. Yeah, And should we stay, the democracy of the EU, the democratic gap, and whether it can be democratised, and the sovereignty of it.
Yeah.
And that is getting no discussion, although Brexit are constantly bringing it up. The Remain camp aren't addressing it at all. So all that's going to happen is the issue's going to be up in the air, and this thing that David Cameron's done, this referendum, to try and sort this issue once and for all for the Tory party, because it tears them apart. It's not going to do it.
No.
Because it's not addressing their concerns. Remain, if they want to bury this, they need to come out and explain away why we should be surrendering our sovereignty, or they should be explaining a path to democratisation of the EU, so people can have a genuine say.
It was amazing how fast they lost the moral high ground. Because for years and years it was a case of, well, Eurosceptics just make stuff about square bananas and all that, and Remainers saying, well, obviously no, it's good. But it turns out really, very quickly, they'd lost the moral high ground with nonsense. Armageddon, no.
You have World War III, you have
and you had the Eurosceptics having to go at them for scaremongering, because it's true. It's ridiculous.
It is an amazing turnaround. The Eurosceptics are actually, from a moral standpoint,
and now
are on better ground than Remain.
Yeah.
It happened because, as has been made perfectly clear, this is David Cameron's campaign, and he's got David Cameron, Lyndon Crosby, and George Osborne on this.
Doesn't make you want to vote to stay, does it? But that's the point. Is it shouldn't affect your decision at all.
No,
that's very hard. But I mean, obviously on leave you've got arseholes as well.
Yeah, you have.
Why are they all horrible right wingers? There's nobody good.
Yeah, Paul Mason made the point on Question Time, didn't he? He says, I want to leave the European Union because it's undemocratic and he believes it can't be democratised. He goes, but do you think I'm going to vote to leave with a bunch of rabid right wingers in the wings, ready to do who knows what?
Yeah.
What are they going to do
That's the problem.
once we leave?
Yeah.
So it really is a quandary for forward thinking, left leaning.
Yeah. There's no. Yeah. Both are bad.
Yeah. Which could ultimately mean that people stay at home and don't vote, which would be good for Brexit.
But I mean, long term though, if we left, obviously that might start the trigger for other countries leaving, and in the end, it might signal the end anyway. And obviously, we'll be replaced with something else. What that something is, nobody knows.
But yeah, I mean, what we'd have to sort of think quite carefully how we deal with it. There will be, if the EU starts to dismantle, it'll be from the periphery out, inwards. Yeah. And I would imagine you would always have the core. Yeah, you'd have
basically Germany and France,
basically, maybe Italy and Spain that will remain, and there would still be an enormous trading bloc.
Yeah,
and we'd have to look at that. How do we cope with that outside of?
Yeah. Of course, I mean, the argument is that the problem started right from the very start. When it was all happening, it was when in the 70s they were all getting together and we were like, and then we came in at the end. Oh, can I come in your gang? Sorry, that's part of the problem, isn't it? That we did it like that. So we'll probably just do that again. It'll be the same. The same thing happens again.
Yeah.
The immigration question. I'm not convinced leaving the EU makes any difference. I don't think it does.
That is a good point actually. Immigration, everyone wants to try. Well, Brexit want to tie to immigration because immigration is number one on the issue index. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's emotive and all that.
It's an important thing for many people, and they have successfully and this has been largely down to UKIP and Nigel Farage. They have successfully tried to tie the EU with immigration.
Yeah, very successfully.
But here's the thing, immigration is great for big business because it suppresses wages.
Yes.
So if we leave, do you think the Conservative Party
are
really gonna shut the borders?
Yeah.
It ain't gonna happen. Yeah. So would immigration go down? Probably not. Yeah. So the European thing's not really going anywhere.
Yeah. There's still no answer.
No.
So yes, and there you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Let's do the results of our Twitter thing.
Yes.
/ Reddit poll. Okay, so just to remind you, the question was ISIS or Hitler, which one is the best for winning an argument? And the two options are the arch zionist Hitler and so-called ISIS. We've had one upvote, but we've had a little bit of response.
Ooh, that's good.
We've had one vote for the arch zionist Hitler and 2 votes for so-called ISIS.
Yay!
And we've had a couple of comments as well. This is Little Devil. David Cameron's ISIS gag I thought was worse. Mostly because if ISIS wanted to take over the EU, it would be counterintuitive for the UK to leave. Whereas what Boris said was historically accurate. Many times there has been different attempts to unify Europe. Hitler did it in one way, the EU project is another. By the way, his sort of little thing...
He responded seriously there.
Well, yeah, but his little thing is vote leave if you want a United States of Europe. I think we know which side of the referendum debate he's on. So obviously he's a bit of a Boris bias there. And P.S. Jacko said neither.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. So we'll let that stew for a while and see how that comes out.
So we post final results
On the video, yeah.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Okay. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. See you next time.